In today's video, we'll be talking about one of the data types called enumeration. Now, what is an enumeration? Enumeration, or in short, enum, is a user-defined data type in C. It is mainly used to assign names to integral constants. The name makes a program easy to read and maintain. This enum is a user-defined data type. Is not a predefined data type. Now, a user, which is the programmer, will define its own data type. So C made it possible for a user to have the privilege to define his or her own data type. So we'll be taking a look at how to declare an enum and how to use it. So for those of you that have been asking me on how to run C program on the terminal, I believe strongly that you have watched my installation video. Now, if you have done that, then I think you should follow along right now. Now, navigate to your directory where you stored your projects, or where your projects are being stored. Now, mine is on the document. Then you go inside of the program of the folder, which is my C programming. I will be using this folder called Enum for my Enum projects. Then go inside of this folder. If you are using a window, this works on Windows, okay, Windows operating system. Now at the top of this navigation bar here, just click on it. Everything is going to be highlighted, but if it's not highlighted, just do Ctrl A to highlight them. Then click on type CMD. When you have done that, then this prompt is going to be out. Then you now check whether you are actually on the right spot, which definitely you are in the right spot. Now you can see my main.c, you can see my enum.cbp. That is how to navigate into your directory, your working directory. Then after that, then if you want to compile your C program, which we are going to do, just follow along with the video. Now this is the first step. Getting to this place is just the first step. Now let us launch our editor, which we are going to use Vim for it. Okay, now this is definitely the basic structure of a typical C program. Now remember, in today's video we'll be looking at enum, which is enumeration. Okay, so for us to define an enumerated data type, we first of all use the word enum. So we start off by typing enum, which is the keyword for us to define an enum data type. Now the next one is going to be the state, which for me I'm going to work with days of the week. Okay, so I'll put week. Then the next one is going to be the constants. To use the short forms. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now these are the constants of an enum. We have not actually declared the value or whatever, but we have not actually assigned it a value, but we have just declared an enum. So this is how to declare an enum. Okay, an enum is a user-defined data type. So you are defining this for yourself or for your program. Okay, so C gave us the privilege to define an enum for ourselves. Okay, our data type for ourselves. Then after that, let us go initialize this, or let us run this so that you actually see what each of these states or each of these constants means. Then inside of the main body, inside of this main, is where we are going to run this enum that we just declared here, or where we are going to run this data type that we just declared here inside of this main. Now we run it by typing enum, then by calling the state, which is week, then and by giving it a variable, which is day. So we use the just like our normal data type. Okay, we call the data type, then initialize it a variable. Do you get? So but in enum we have the enum keyword, then the state, which is this week that we have here, then this is our variable. So this day here is our variable. Now after we have actually declared our variable, then we can go on and assign it a value. Now this value can be one of the states that we have here, or constants that we have here, one of these constants. Then if we have assigned our day, which is the new variable that we created with this our user defined data type, then we now assign it a value from one of these constants, which is Wednesday for now, but we are going to touch few of it. Then after that, let's print and see what is going to give us. So let's use the D, which is what we are going to use. Then we now give it a value of, then we now say day. So this is how this is going to work. This enum, which is the keyword, is going to create this data type for us, and the data type is going to have the name week. So instead of integer, strings, char, our own is week. Okay, so now we came down here to actually make use of this data type that we created by calling enum first, very compulsory. Then after, we now give it a data type of week. We can call this anything that we want. Okay, so after that, after putting our data type, then we now write a variable. Now this variable can be anything. Remember, a variable is just a name for a memory location on your RAM. Okay, so now when you have declared, you now initialize, you now give it a value. Now we are now giving it a value of Wednesday. Now, and then print it out on the screen. So let's run this program to see how actually is going to run, or what is going to be presented to us. Now if you want to run this program, first of all you have to save the program. So I'm saving and exiting. Then the next one is, you have to, when you installed, if you have watched my first video, when you install that application, there is a library called, a compiler called GCC, which was defaultly installed for us. So that is what we are going to use with the compilation of today's program. So type GCC, then our name of our program, which is c.main, main.c rather, then you type -o, then you now give it a default name, just any name is going to use to build our executable file. Okay, so but first of all, before we go into this, let us dr into our directory. you can see we have main dot main dot c this norms dot this main dot this main dot this. There is no executable file like .exe. Okay, so if we run this gcc will actually give us an executable file. So it's going to compile this our main.c into an executable file. So let's proceed to what we were doing. Then I'm going to give it e.exe. okay, so this is what is going to the application that is going to generate for us, which will be executable only on Windows operating system. So I click on there is no error. If there is no error when you have typed all this, then you know that you are on the right path. Then after, for us to run this program, the only thing we need to do is to reference this name, just this. But before we do that, let us check whether it's actually generated an executable file for us. Now you can see here we have e.exe. so this is the executable file. Up here there is nothing like that. You can see there's nothing like that. So with this gcc we were able to generate an executable file. Let's run this code. Then we now put e.exe. That is the only thing you need to put for you to run this program. Then you hit your enter key. Now you can see we have printed 2 here. So that means in our program, let me go back. Day printed out 2. So that means this Wednesday is on the second position on this constant or in this constant. For example, if you are counting from 1 is on the 3rd position, but if you are counting from 0, which is what you should be counting from, okay, so an array starts from 0, so definitely this is an array of constants. Okay, so when you are dealing with an array, it should start from 0. So let's count. Monday is 0, Tuesday is 1, and Wednesday is 2. Then Thursday is 3, Friday is 4, Saturday is 5, then Sunday is 6. That is how to count in array. But in a normal circumstance, you will just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 because we have 7 days in a week, right? Okay, yeah, that is just for outside of an array. When it comes to an array, you start with 0. Now let's change this Wednesday to Monday. Let's see what we are talking about. Now let's save and rerun this program. So it doesn't mean whether you have used this name before, okay, it will override the existing one and create a new one for us. Okay, so let's hit enter key. So no error. Let me clear the screen. That is CLS. Okay, so after that, let's initialize or run the program. You can see the Monday gave us 0. So I'm correct in what I said, that when dealing with an array of elements or constants, the first element there is 0. So Monday is 0. So guys, this is how to print, or this is how to work with enums. You declared your own, you created your own data type called week. You now use your data type week to declare a variable called day. Then you now assign a day. You now assign day with a value, which is mon or any of these constants that are here. Then you now print it out. Now in future videos, you will see us declaring and using this enum for other operations. We are going to build a project in C that does a small thing. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video if you got something from it. Okay, share. There's love in sharing.